if the parent is undocumented and they have U.S. citizen children or U.S. citizen spouse, or and you don't want to separate them, then let's deport the U.S. citizens.
They promised, this administration promised, they're going to concentrate on the criminal aliens. That was a priority. Secretary Mayorkas said it. I looked at the stats today. The removal of criminal aliens is down 74%.
Donald Trump is already driving the mainstream media insane. I mean, crazy. We knew that this second term, I mean, he's going to be unhinged, right? He's got no restraints. He's got no guardrails. He's got immunity. He can do anything. He's going to send in SEAL Team 6 and kill Nancy Pelosi or whatever the hell they were claiming he was going to do. It's the end of democracy. Do you want proof positive? Take a look at this. Take a look at this. He's already announced preliminary appointments for his cabinet. And look at them. They're all people who agree with him. They're all people who will actually carry out his agenda. Who in the hell does Donald Trump think he is? In fact, they all seem to be people who are pretty competent and capable of carrying out his agenda and then going on cable news and defending that agenda when they're mercilessly attacked by the media. I mean, you can understand why everybody's upset. Who does this ruthless, undemocratic bastard think he is? Imagine a time when a president of the United States actually is able to select people he likes and who like him and support his agenda and will actually be able to carry out his agenda. I don't know what this country is coming to. Honestly, it makes you want to move to Canada. I wish I were overstating the case, but that's really, really what their reaction is. Let's take two of these gentlemen as perfect examples. In your lower left corner, border czar Tom Homan. And by the way, a lot of people are like, will he be the ICE director? Will he be Secretary of Homeland Security? What will his title be? I love, it's French kiss exquisite that Donald Trump said, let's call you the border czar. Considering that's what Kamala was. But then she wasn't. But then she was. But then she wasn't. And Homan's like, hey, Mr. President, make me the czar. Come on. I want the fez. I want the sash. I'm going to be a full-on czar. Epaulets, maybe. The czar has undefined responsibilities. He can just say, all right, Tom, do this, and get it done. Also, a czar does not face Senate confirmation. Win-win. All right, and then in the upper right-hand corner is one Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy. All right, so let's take those two in particular. Tom Homan, we featured a video with Tom Homan on 60 Minutes 2 weeks ago. Remember when he was confronted by the reporters saying, well, how can you deport parents of children that were born here without separating the families? And he goes, simple, we deport the whole family. Keep the family together, go. When you're an adult, you can come back. Or if you've got an aunt and uncle here, fine. But, it's not up to us. We're deporting the people who are criminals and aren't supposed to be here. It's not our fault they had a baby. So Tom Homan is actually going to do what he said he was going to do and what Donald Trump promised he would do. And last I checked, Donald Trump just won the election in an overwhelming landslide fashion. So, of course, the ladies on The View are outraged.
It's chilling what he just said. You realize that when he says, yes, families can be deported together. What he is saying is that U.S. citizens can be deported. What he is saying is if the parent is undocumented and they have U.S. citizen children or U.S. citizen spouse, or and you don't want to separate them, then let's deport the U.S. citizens. Look, Donald Trump won the electoral vote. He won. He's going to win the House. He won the Senate. For all effects and purposes, he's got the Supreme Court. They've given him immunity.
I think she meant for all intents and purposes, not effects and purposes. Again, she's been here a long time. I think she knows the language. It's weird when they do things like this. But I'll let her finish. I hate to nitpick, but I just think it's funny that the people who are paid to speak, and she's even reading her remarks, paid to speak, can't actually do it.
This is what the country voted for. This is, a lot of people thought that when he talked about mass deportations, he wasn't being serious. I don't know how many times he had to say it for people to realize he was being serious. Well, if you thought he wasn't being serious, the appointment of Tom Homan today as border czar, and he will be in charge of a mass deportation program, the largest the country has ever seen, they say. And now Stephen Miller, as deputy chief of staff, should let you know that he was absolutely serious. And when you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportations. What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means family members. It means your colleagues. It means your friends. It means people who are part of the society. And look, America, you know, those of you who voted for Trump, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You screwed around and you're about to find out.
Yes. Yes. That is exactly what we voted for. You know, there's another way to frame this. And of course, listen, this is the beauty of having facts in front of you that then get communicated in your own style through the prism of your own political perspective. So she just relayed to you facts, and they're all true. I will relay to you the exact same facts. Donald Trump promised during the campaign, and now he's making good on his promise, that he will enforce our immigration laws as they are written. The laws that were debated and passed in the House and the Senate and then given to the president and signed into law many, many years ago, laws that have been on the books for many decades, Donald Trump will now finally enforce those laws. That's what deportation of criminal illegal aliens means, because that's the law. Ana Navarro would have the president ignore the law, as the presidents have ignored the laws for decades now. She doesn't like the law. If she doesn't like the law, you know, we live in a constitutional republic with a bicameral branch of government known as the legislative and then an executive branch. That's how they make these laws. And if she doesn't like the law that's on the books, then maybe she should petition the people in the House and the Senate to change it. But as long as the law is on the books, why is Ana Navarro telling her audience that the virtuous thing is to ignore the law? Because that's how we got here. And about the abuelos and abuelas, let me ask you something, Ana Navarro. First of all, we do have tens, if not hundreds, we have hundreds of thousands of criminals. Not in, you're right, they should be in federal prison, but they're not. They're walking the streets. But the ones that are in federal prison, they should be deported. The criminals that are walking the streets that the Biden administration let roam free, they should be deported. She's lying to you. We have hundreds of thousands of criminal illegal aliens in this country to begin with. But this whole thing about the abuelas and the abuelos who are here illegally and they're going to be deported. So, Ana Navarro, can I ask you something? If a 50-year-old man just entered our country illegally a month ago and is trying to get a job and is living on the street, and he happens to be a grandfather, do you disagree that he should be deported? I mean, she's making it sound like it's someone who's been in this country for 30 years and they've established themselves and they've got generations that have been born here and all of that jazz, which, by the way, if that's the case, I'd love to know how they were able to sustain themselves for 3 decades, since it's illegal to work here unless you've stolen somebody's identity. But set that aside for a moment. If somebody just crossed the border and they're a grandfather, they're an abuelo, Anna, and they're in the country illegally and they're living on the street and they're getting free benefits and they're trying to take a job that should go to a U.S. citizen, why shouldn't they get deported? No, you need to, no. It's not on me to explain why I think the law should be enforced, because I'm on the moral high ground here. The law is the law. The question is for you. Why shouldn't that person be deported? Why should we all pay for that person? And why should we encourage that person to take a job that my grandfather could get? Well, my grandfather is no longer with us, but you get my point. All the same facts. It just, it depends on how you want to relay them to your audience.
Have U.S. citizen children or U.S. citizen spouse, or and you don't want to separate them, then let's deport the U.S. citizens. When you talk about mass deportations, people think, oh, it's just going to be the criminals. There's not enough criminals, aliens in the federal prison system for it to be mass deportation.
All right, so you and I just saw that clip, but what you're about to see is one of those delicious moments that we all crave for. We get to hear Tom Homan, the man who's being attacked and targeted here, respond. You see, The View would never have Tom Homan to ask him questions and challenge his policies because they're cowards. But on Fox News, Tom Homan had that exact opportunity, and it's going to be great.
What it means is grandmothers. What it means is brothers and aunts. Yep. What it means is abuelos y abuelas. It means dreamers. It means your family members. It means your colleagues.
Well, the propaganda war has begun. Here with more is America's next border czar. Tom Homan is with us. Tom, welcome back to the program. Great to have you. Are you planning on deporting American citizens?
No, exactly not. Look, the view, it's like the island of misfit toys. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. President Trump has made it clear. We will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first. And that's what the focus will be. And there's over 1.5 convicted criminal aliens in this country with final orders removal that we're going to be looking for. There's thousands of gang members, illegal alien gang members we're going to be looking for. Now, I'm going to say, if you're in the country illegally, you shouldn't feel comfortable. Absolutely not. I won't feel comfortable if I'm in the country illegally. If I'm in some other country illegally, I'm not going to be comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable either, because when you enter this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You are a criminal, and you're not off the table.
That's right. And that's the bottom line. And everyone's like, oh, there's not going to be mass deportation. There might not need to be mass deportations. After the first 500,000 to 1 million get deported, I'm thinking the rest of them are going to leave on their own. I've got a better idea, in fact. If anyone's like, because I know, you've all got devices, you've all got smartphones that I'm probably paying for. You're welcome. If you happen to stumble upon this and you're in the country illegally and you're feeling a little nervous about the future, listen to me. Listen, go to Canada. Go to Canada. They'll love you there. They want you there. They're a safe haven. I promise. It's really easy to get there. The easiest way is to just walk across the porous border to the north. If you happen to swing by Detroit first, get yourself some Detroit Lions swag, because they are 8-1, baby. And then just walk across the Ambassador Bridge and you're in Windsor, Ontario. It's fantastic. Go to Canada. You'll be fine. If you're worried, I don't want you to be worried. They will welcome every abuela and abuelo with open arms up in Canada. And they've got great maple syrup. Lousy hockey, though. But you'll love it. Go to Canada. You want to hear some more from your border czar? I know I do. Go for it, Homan.
Country, or all told, more than 400,000 criminal, illegal immigrants, including known terrorists. They're here, but we don't know where they are. How are we going to find them to get rid of them?
Look, ICE is very good at what they do. We have a targeting system. I can't really talk about it on the air because it's law enforcement sensitive, but we're going to find them. And look, we're going to go get them. I saw today numerous governors from sanctuary states saying they're going to step in the way. They better get the hell out of the way. Either you help us or get the hell out of the way, because ICE is going to do their job. We're going to take the handcuffs off ICE that the Biden administration put on them and let ICE what they do best. And let me say this. Back to the viewer, Joe Biden. This administration promised they're going to concentrate on the criminal aliens. That was a priority. Secretary Mayorkas said it. I looked at the stats today. The removal of criminal aliens is down 74% from President Trump. We have more criminals here than we ever had. So we got plenty of targets out there, and the men and women of this new administration are going to go look for them. They're going to look for them in sanctuary cities. If sanctuary cities don't want to help, get out of the way. I'll double the workforce in that sanctuary city. We're going to do our job. Despite the politics, we're doing it. So get used to it, because we're coming.
It's a very powerful moment, but also powerful is this scrolling screen next to Homan. And good job, the production team there at Hannity doing this, because I want you to know that every single one of the victims that's detailed here, victims of a heinous violent crime in this country, Ana Navarro and the cast at The View, they don't care about them. They don't care about the 14-year-old. They don't care about this 13-year-old raped in Queens. They don't care about Elizabeth Medina, 16-year-old stabbed to death in Jackson County, Texas. No, they care about the murderer. They care about the rapist. Their language, everything that animates them, everything that brought Ana Navarro to tears over the abuela and abuela. I'm sorry. What about Ruperto Mondragon, murdered in Dallas? He's an abuelo. You don't care about that abuelo, Anna? We all choose what we get animated and emotional about. Me, I'm a little concerned about the 15-year-old girl in Montgomery County who was raped. I'm weird that way. I would only quarrel with one thing, though. When Tom Homan says, you know, these sanctuary states are not going to cooperate, then he says, well, fine, get out of the way. I'll double down my resources. Actually, he should do the opposite. When New York and Massachusetts and Illinois and Maryland and California and all these other virtue signaling states all say, we're a sanctuary state, we are not going to cooperate with ICE. Tom Homan, the border czar, should say, okay, fine. Let the world know that every single criminal, illegal alien in this country who faces deportation, they can go to Massachusetts, and apparently you'll be protected. Go ahead. Go ahead. In fact, I'm going to pull my resources out of your state. There's no reason to spend resources in your state. We will secure the states who cooperate with the Trump administration on this endeavor, and those states who do not cooperate, I guess you'll be a safe haven. You don't have to go to Canada now. Just go to California, go to Illinois, go to New York, go to Massachusetts. Let's see how long that lasts before we see red states across this nation. That's what he should do. Pull all the resources and all the money out of those states and let them fend for themselves. Let's see how long that lasts. But it's not just Tom Homan driving them crazy. Again, this bastard, Donald Trump, dares to actually appoint people who not only agree with him, but are loyal, who aren't going to backstab him and leak to the media anonymously. Just take a look at the rage over Stephen Miller as deputy chief of staff. When was the last time you heard anyone in the media complaining about the appointment of a deputy chief of staff? I got a better question for you. Can you name Joe Biden's deputy chief of staff? Thank you. Can you name his chief of staff? Thank you.
Theory. Maria, what does this mean for America to have him in Donald Trump's ear?
I think it's one of the most concerning picks that we have seen thus far, Sarah. Not surprising, but incredibly concerning, not just because of all of the clips that you just ran, but because we know that this is somebody who does not believe that this country should be open or should be welcoming of any immigrants, frankly. And what's going to be interesting is moving forward, he said that they're going to start mass deportation on day one. And that is going to be, first of all, it has already injected terror, chaos, fear, division among so many immigrants and communities of color around the country. I've got so many calls and texts from my friends who are terrified about what is going to happen, even people who are here with legal status, because I don't think that at the end of the day, they're going to really make any kind of distinction between the criminal undocumented, which, by the way, the criminal undocumented are being deported. That is a policy that is being adhered to. But it also, I think, indicates that there's a lot of talk here, Sarah, and it's going to be very improbable that they're going to really be able to do this from a policy standpoint and from a budgetary standpoint. So we'll see what happens. But right now, it has only injected fear and terror in America's communities.
I love it. I love it. Everybody's terrified because they're going to do exactly what they said they were going to do, but they don't have the money or the ability to do it anyway. So they're never going to actually fulfill their promise. So what exactly are we afraid of? I love how they have it both ways. What exactly are we supposed to be afraid of? I don't care. Just be terrified. That's how we get votes. We're Democrats. Meanwhile, I'll let Jen Psaki have the last word here, because her biggest beef with Donald Trump's appointments is that he's actually chosen people who will remain loyal. You know, everyone in the media is like, oh my God, these guys, they're not going to backstab Trump. They're not going to give me illegal anonymous leaks. How are we going to function? These guys are all, they're all loyal to Trump. They actually agree with them. You know, like the majority of Americans in this country. Okay, Jen, what's the real danger here?
Walz is a Trump loyalist, an election denier, and a NATO critic who echoes Trump's skepticism about supporting Ukraine. Earlier today, Trump selected Congresswoman Elise Stefanik for UN ambassador. She's, of course, a moderate total MAGA loyalist. She's going to be filling the job that Nikki Haley had during the first Trump administration. Oh, and the guy rumored to be in the running for CIA or FBI director is Kash Patel. Now, The Atlantic wrote recently about him, quote, that even in an administration full of loyalists, Patel was exceptional in his devotion.
Yeah, unlike Jen Psaki, who is not in any way loyal or devoted to Joe Biden or Barack Obama or John Kerry, the three individuals that she's worked for in her professional career. Yeah, because the last thing you want is loyalty. This is amazing. Is there anything that exemplifies Washington, D.C. rot and the Democrat media complex coined by Andrew Breitbart than what you just saw. This is a woman who worked in the Kerry campaign in '84, then the Obama campaign, then John Kerry's State Department, then Obama's White House press secretary, then Biden's White House press secretary. Then she becomes a news anchor on MSNBC, and she goes on a diatribe about Trump picking people who are loyal to him. You can't make this up. They are so outraged at what's about to happen, what's happening right now before their eyes. And just seeing Kash Patel and imagining him as the director of the CIA. Honestly, I'm starting to get a little lightheaded with euphoria. And it's just begun. We're just 1 week in. God, this is going to be great. Well, it's been 1 week since the election, and for a lot of us who are holding our breath, we can now, we can exhale. Work can finally be done on the major issues this country is facing, and one of the most significant is our national debt. The fact is, the nation is broke, and that debt is a house of cards that can't quickly be dismantled. So the strategy remains the same. Diversify your savings. So many things are out of our control, out of President Trump's control. It's important to have a safe haven for your savings. Birch Gold Group will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. And the best news is it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. Just text my name, Larry, Larry, to 989898. Get a free info kit on gold. And right now, through Black Friday, through the day after Thanksgiving, you'll receive a free 1-ounce silver eagle for every $5,000 purchase. That's awesome. We're giving you free silver. You're welcome. Diversify your savings with Birch Gold. Text Larry to 989898 and claim your eligibility for free silver today.